What's going on, Godzilla Nation? This is our Godzilla. It is time for us to get our tips in for round 3. Crept up on me a little bit quicker than I had expected, but nonetheless, before we get started, it's time to have a quick overview of what went down last week. And I tipped 5. We were off to a very hot start last week, actually, when we go back to round 2 and have a look. Because even though we tipped Richmond to win, we got the draw. I think that's pretty cool. And then we got a win, and then after that it's downhill from there. The Gold Coast upset of the century, the decade, the whole competition of the AFL. North Melbourne getting up over GWS, I didn't see coming. Essendon Sydney, I did say was going to be a 50-50, and I did say Bulldogs St Kilda would be a 50-50, but hey, can't pick them all, right? However, let's see who did do the best over the weekend. Okay, so looking at the leaderboard overall, the person who tipped the most correct tips was Motherfuckers, tipped 7. However, it is some cripple still holding the lead on 14 total tips. Water is Wet and El Snako in second with 13. We've got Alex's Superstars and Motherfuckers with 12. Memazar, Taj River Taylor 123 and Gannon 233 on 11. And then we've got TLB, Oliver Laird, Dominic EZ, Maj Tig 77, Zeta, myself, and Benjamina 98, or Benjamin A 98, all on 10. We've got Flynn Boyd, Tiger Cat, I hope I said that right, Roxburgh, and V on 9. V Crimson on 7 with Dylan Meadows, Dex Pack on 6. And Marcus has obviously joined in after the round because he didn't get jumped in there. But he's on 10 as well, so he'll float up thereabouts. So we've got 22 people now in the competition. I am very excited about that. If you guys want to join the competition as well, it is really easy to do so. All you have to do is use this link on the screen right here. Alternatively, there is a link in the description of the video down below. You've got until round 5 to join. If you join after round 5, unfortunately, you're not going to be eligible to win any of the prizes at the end of the season. To be eligible as well, you need to make sure you subscribe to the channel too. So if you're already in the competition and haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. If you're wanting to get on board the competition and haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button prior as well. It's that simple. But let's turn our attention to what we're here for. We're here for the tips. We're looking at round 3. Kicking off at the MCG tomorrow night. Richmond again, 3rd week in a row featuring in a Thursday night. Well, 3rd round in a row because we didn't play 2 weeks ago. But 3rd round in a row featuring on a Thursday night against Hawthorn. I'm backing Richmond. I don't do it all the time. I do back against Richmond from time to time when I think they're going to lose. However, I'm giving them every chance to win here. And they're going to do so by 29 points. Big money coming in for them. Actually, bit of an upset there if you want to get some coin on the Hawks. But I'm comfortably going Richmond. Friday night at Marvel Stadium. I was going to say Marvel Stadium. Bulldogs taking on GWS. Oh, I'm going to go GWS. Have to go GWS here. The Bulldogs have upset 2 rounds in a row. I have tipped the Bulldogs round 1 and round 2. They got absolutely fucking smashed. So I'm going to go GWS this week. And probably in doing so, the Bulldogs will get up and win. But I think GWS are too strong a unit. Saturdays at Marvel. North Melbourne taking on Sydney. I think what North did against GWS last week is enough to show me confidently that they can get the job done here. So I'm going to back North Melbourne to get the job done over Sydney. Then we've got the MCG, St Kilda Collingwood. I think Collingwood. Collingwood have been one of the superior teams for the last couple of years. They've kicked off this season really strong despite the draw to Richmond last week. Despite only scoring 1 goal in 3 quarters of football. I think completely different circumstances here. Collingwood get the win. GMHBA Stadium. Geelong Carlton. I think it's self-explanatory. We go Geelong. Geelong in Geelong is a safe bet. Carlton last week against Melbourne were very impressive. And for all of the Carlton supporting fans on the channel, I told you Carlton would come out and impress. However, Melbourne just getting over the line. I think this week If they can remain competitive against Geelong, I would take that as a win. Saturday rounds out at the Gabba with Brisbane taking on West Coast. I'm going Brisbane. Brisbane at the Gabba, not as safe a bet as you would with the likes of something like Richmond at the MCG or Geelong at Geelong. But seeing how West Coast played last week against the Gold Coast, I'm giving Brisbane every chance to get up and win here. Even though the money, for whatever reason, is coming in for West Coast over the Lions, I'm very confident the Lions can get the job done here over the Eagles. We've got 3 games on the Sunday, kicking off with Gold Coast against Adelaide, and I can't get over it. The majority are now voting for the Gold Coast to get up and win. What the hell's going on with this competition? I don't get it. Seeing how the Gold Coast played last week against West Coast makes me want to back them here. You know what? You got to roll the dice sometimes. I'm going to do the impossible. I'm going to back the Gold Coast to beat Adelaide. Probably a very stupid fucking decision. But they were very impressive last week. And I think from what we saw from Adelaide, especially when Port Adelaide just put the foot down and drove away from them, I really think there could be room for an upset here. So I'm going to go the Gold Coast. Essendon, Melbourne. Purely based off of what went down in Sydney last week and purely because they upset my tips, we're going to go Essendon over Melbourne here. I think even though Melbourne come in with the more dominant midfield, I think around the ground, Essendon are going to play it out a little bit better. This is probably going to be a 50-50 ball game, but I think Essendon can get the job done. Final game, Metricon Stadium, Fremantle, Port Adelaide. I think Port Adelaide win and they maintain their position on top of the ladder. I didn't think I would be saying Port Adelaide on top of the ladder, but hey, it's going down that way. And they've looked pretty impressive. They've had 2 very convincing wins to kick off the year. So having a look over, and yeah, as you can see there, the gauntlet. I tipped West Coast as my certainty for the gauntlet, and I've been eliminated. So thank you, West Coast. But here we go. Overview. Richmond, GWS, North Melbourne, Collingwood, Geelong, Brisbane, Gold Coast, Essendon, Port Adelaide. Still 50-50 on this Gold Coast game. That may change to Adelaide, I'm not sure. But for now, we're going with the Gold Coast Suns. That's my tips. And that's it heading into round 3. I hope you guys are keen for more football action. I still don't know where I sit with this whole fake crowd noise in the background. I think that's a little bit ludicrous, but hey, they've got to do something, right? As I mentioned earlier, if you want to get on board Argod Zero's 2020 footy tipping comp, it's quite simple. There's a link on the screen. There's a link in the description. Use either one of those. Get on board. Let me know in the comment section down below as well who you think might be the upset of the round this week, who you think might be the certainty to lock in this week. I think that's a little bit of fun we can have each week. A certainty and an upset. Why not? As I've just picked, I think a certainty... Oh, certainty. Who would be a certainty this week? I think the upset is definitely Gold Coast over Adelaide, because that'd be huge. I think the certainty this week would have to be Geelong over Carlton. Unfortunate as that sounds. But that's my 2 for the week. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Feel free to hit that like button if you want to show some support to the channel. The last video went over with you guys so well. Over 400 views. That's insane for a tipping video. So thank you all so much for supporting that. It means a lot to myself. If you're new to the channel and you want to join the competition, hit that subscribe button down below. If you're new to the channel and you don't want to join the competition but you're enjoying the content I'm throwing out, just subscribe as well. Because why not? You'll be joining one hell of a community of people. You'll be supporting myself. It's a good time. Good time all around. Hit that notification bell as well, so if YouTube decides to notify you about what's going down, because I know they're on the wayside with doing that shit lately, you'll get a notification let you know that there's some new content to go check out. And what a time to do so, because I'm live streaming tomorrow night, midnight, The Last of Us 2. It's going down. It's going to be great. But that's it from me, guys. I'm out of here, and as always, I will catch you guys next time.